Hello everyone, I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about cashmere sweaters. Cashmere tends to be very expensive, but there are two brands that offer an affordable alternative. One of those brands is Naadam. Naadam, according to their website, means Mongolian festival, and they have a little video giving some information about their backstory, which I thought was kind of interesting, and I'll link that video below if you are interested. But their claim to fame is the $98 cashmere sweater. I am wearing one of them now in the color peacock blue. The second brand is Quince, and their claim to fame is a $50 cashmere sweater. If you're interested in learning more about the quality of these sweaters, the sizing, and how to care for them, please stay tuned. So I mentioned that I'm wearing one of Naadam's original $98 cashmere sweaters. This is in a size small, and I say the sizing is pretty generous, which in a way is probably good. I tend to wear a shirt underneath the sweater so I don't sweat directly into the cashmere. The sleeve length is full length, so it's not 3/4 length. It goes all the way to your wrist bone. And I'd say on me, the sweater is probably hitting at my hip, and I am 5'7". So let's take a closer look at this sweater. I will put up here what the color is because I can't remember off the top of my head what they call this, but it's like a beautiful raspberry color. Very, very soft. And for those of you like me that have sensitive skin, these sweaters do not irritate my skin. So if you do have sensitive skin, this may be a good alternative for you. In terms of softness, very, very soft. It is a nice, tight knit. And these are definitely, and we will compare it to the Quince sweater, but I would say overall, this is definitely a thicker knit on this sweater. As you can see, it's a high neck sweater. There's a little bit of detailing. You can see here around the armpit area, the stitching, and then going down to the arm, you have your cuff here. Nothing really to speak of on the back. It's just plain. There's no seaming. But down at the bottom, you also have a knit here that sort of helps to taper in at the waist. In terms of warmth, I have found these are incredibly warm. There are days that I work from home and I have to get on video conference calls and I will wear this sweater. I am perfectly comfortable in this sweater. So, and I think it also looks professional. So these have been a great addition to my wardrobe. They do have the care instructions inside. And again, hand wash cold, do not bleach, and dry flat. So here's one of my newest additions from Quince. Again, this is a size small, and I think their sizing is pretty generous as well. This, as I mentioned earlier, is a $50 cashmere sweater, and it's in this beautiful cream color. Both of these companies, these sweaters come in a multitude of colors. They're all absolutely beautiful colors. But again, it's a high neckline on this as well. You can see the stitching there delineating the neckline here. Similar to the Naadam sweater. Got some stitching here around the armpit, coming down the sleeve, and this is also a full length sweater. Tapers a little bit at the wrist. Now, in terms of the knit on this sweater, it's not as tight of a knit as on the Naadam sweater. Now, this is in a cream color, of course, so they are a little more see-through than the darker colors. I do have one in a darker color that I will show you in a moment, but because it's not as tight of a knit, it is definitely more lightweight and not as warm, and it also is a little bit more prone to stretching out. So let me show you the darker color. I'll put this color up on the screen. Again, I think you can see, hopefully, that the knit is definitely not quite as tight, so it is more lightweight, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think if it's a little bit warmer outside, this would probably be a better option than the tighter knit sweater. But one thing I will note, because the knit is not as tight, It is prone to stretching out a little bit. So the wrist here, like after my wearing it for the day, and I do have a tendency to pull up the sleeves on my sweaters, but this started to stretch out just a little bit. In terms of care instructions, also included inside the sweater, it says to hand wash cold, do not bleach, lay flat to dry. Now, I haven't washed this sweater yet, so I can't speak to how well it washes. But what I can say is that they are very comfortable to wear, and I think they're perfect for those transitional seasons when you're starting to get into slightly warmer temperatures. So I just want to take a moment too to discuss how it is I do care for my cashmere sweaters. And it really is pretty easy. So if that's one of the reasons why you've hesitated to get cashmere, I wouldn't worry, because honestly, they're very easy to take care of. So the first thing I would mention is that you should be able to get multiple wears out of your sweaters before you need to wash them. And one way of doing that is wearing a shirt underneath. That helps with the longevity of these sweaters, and that it also makes it so I don't have to wash them every time I wear them. But when I do wash them, of course, it is in cold water, and I use these laundry bags, and I got this from Ondo. Love these laundry bags. I use them all the time. In terms of detergent, I'm sure there's something out there specifically for cashmere, but I use a sensitive skin detergent that is scentless. It's clear. I find that that has worked perfectly for these sweaters. And of course, then I do not throw them in the dryer. I just lay them out to dry. One other thing I wanted to mention in terms of storing your cashmere sweaters, and hopefully you'll learn from a mistake that I made. When I first got this sweater, I had it hanging up in my closet. There's a couple of reasons why I shouldn't have done that. Number one, it can cause the cashmere to stretch a little bit. And so I did find I had a little bit of stretching going on here in the shoulder. So I would recommend storing them inside your dresser drawers. The other reason why I would not hang cashmere sweaters is because of moths. So I don't have a moth problem. I've very rarely ever seen a moth, but apparently one was in my closet and it found this sweater here. So I don't know if you can see it because I'm wearing a dark colored shirt underneath. See if I can show you. Right there. Such a crying shame. A moth actually ate through my sweater. So it's a good thing this was only a $98 sweater and not a $300+ sweater. But that's another reason why I'd recommend don't leave your cashmere out hanging, because you never know whether there could be moths. And I would also say too, be careful of stink bugs. For those of you who live in environments or in regions like I do, there's a lot of them. And those I have found in my house, and I have discovered that they also like cashmere. So just be on the lookout. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about these sweaters, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.